Hi, this is the third video from my development of An Untitled Sonata, a third-person action-adventure game that I have been working on as part of my final university project. In the last video, I talked about implementing the mechanics into the game and testing them, as well as what mechanics I changed and why. In this video, I will be talking about the level design process from planning to completion. For the process of level design, I planned out what I wanted the basic flow of the level to look like on paper. There were a few of these designs. The one on screen currently is the one I ended up using. This design details where the player will travel, the debris blocking the player's path, the starting point in the level, the boss spawn area object in the level, a small puzzle area, and some smaller details like trees and the waterbed below the bridge. Having this paper design next to me whilst creating the level was a huge help, as it allowed me to have a reference point when placing certain parts of the level. After creating the level layout on paper, I used some assets I had sourced while planning the game to create an outline of the level. This worked like an earlier grey box stage, as it was just the level floor and nothing else. Grey boxing is a process that allows developers to see the layout of their level and test its ability without wasting time sourcing and creating assets and worrying about the visual look. It serves multiple purposes, such as the designer can view the scale of the environment from the player's POV. Any mechanical elements can be tested at this stage, as the level can be adjusted easily if needed. The grey boxing will create a level blueprint which can work with other areas such as sound planning and asset creation. Around this time in the game's development, time constraints became a slight issue. Due to this, I decided to scrap grey boxing the level and place buildings where I had planned on paper. Luckily for me, the creators of the road assets I had used to outline the level beforehand released several other free asset packs, so I used those to design out a completed level. A video of me placing the houses on the level is playing on the screen now. Next came the enemy placement. This part came before further detail of the level, so that I could move anything around if required. During this process, I was able to see how the level would play out in full, and balance or remove any enemies if needed. Following this, I moved on to creating the area for the boss. This area is a park area found at the end of the level. When the player interacts with the piano, the boss spawns, ready to attack. There is a lot of foliage in this area, which the boss can destroy with their attack, leaving the player with nothing to hide behind, reliant on their dodge. I also added in the small debris puzzle that was detailed in the paper design. The player shoots a sign and it creates a ramp that the player can walk up to progress. After I was happy with the placement of the houses, puzzle and enemies, I moved on to placing the more detailed pieces of the level, such as foliage and debris. A video of me adding these details to the level is playing now. Whilst the foliage detail wasn't completely necessary, I felt it added a lived-in feel to the level, which is much needed in any game. I felt like the game wouldn't be complete without a basic main menu for the player to start in. This was a super quick scene to create, as it is essentially a box with a table, piano asset, and directional light. Here are the final overviews of each level. In the next video, we'll cover the audio creation and implementation, as well as polish sections like post-processing effects. For this video on level design and creation, that's everything.